Hey man, yeah, just doing my week 21 update, I think. Yeah, all good this week. Some big, like, kind of highlights being a really easy squat triple at 245, which is like definitely the best I've ever moved weight like that. I did fuck up the way that you wanted this to be done on your video, kind of explaining how to approach the 2 sets of 3. I'd already done them, so I can approach them the way that you suggested. So I ended up doing kind of like my first working set at 225, which was way submaximal, and then a top set that ended up being pretty much a spot on 7.5 at 245. So this week I'll try to approach that a little differently, so do like 240 as a set to kind of feel if I have much left, and then potentially go up to 250 for the 8 to 8.5, something like that. But yeah, all in all, still super positive squat session. After the squats, my elbow was a bit sore. Not like anything that isn't normal for me, but just kind of made bench a little harder than it maybe should be, which kind of persisted for the week. So I basically dropped all kind of upper body assistance work, just because a lot of that is quite elbow hingy, and I didn't want to aggravate my elbow any further. But like, it's totally manageable. I just didn't want to add unnecessary stress to it. Yeah, another kind of really positive bench session. I think possibly slightly overshot the intended RPE for the double, so I'll probably repeat 165, but still puts me in a really good place for my target kind of top single, which now I've kind of established as 175 would be the weight that I'd be extremely happy to hit in competition. The volume squats went well. I did 3 sets, not 4 sets, just to kind of limit the amount of stress my elbow was under. Then on the close grips, I brought the weight down a little bit for the kind of elbow reason. On the deadlift, had a good session. Again, I think I approached the deadlift wrong as well, because it says like 87% or up to 7.5, whereas I've kind of been starting from a ballpark 7.5, which means by the third set the RPE is closer to like a 9, like an 8 or an 8.5. So I think that next week for the 3 doubles, I think that what you want me to do is go like 250 for a double. That was too easy. 260 for a double. That was a bit under, and then 265 or 270 for a top double, for example, and that being like a 7.5, 8 kind of range. But maybe in your response, just let me know how you want me to approach the deadlifts, and mainly the deadlifts, the main deadlift day. And then I hit an easy single. Cool. So we'll just go into the videos. Nutrition's been good this week. Sleep's been not too bad because I've had a morning client away, and all in all, just looking forward to getting to competition day. Cool, so here's just the videos of the actual sets. So firstly, the squats. This was my kind of first set of 3, 225, and it was super easy. So I went on to select 245 for my top set, and even this was comfortable. I think 7.5 is fair. Like, I could do 5 reps. It would be pretty tough at that point, but I'm really happy with how this moved. I felt like I kept really good tension throughout, which allowed me to kind of use my strength as much as possible. And then the drop sets, really comfortable sets at 215. And then my 3 count benches. Alright, then the lighter deadlift day with the heavier bench day. These moved super comfortable. I find it's always hard when, like, I find my top sets always feel like they are work, regardless of what the load is. But when I look at it, it's super easy, grip's nice and strong, and yeah, nothing to really discuss here. I feel like my deadlift's really dialed in though, from a form perspective. And now into my main bench. So this is my last warm-up, coming up here at 155 with commands, probably generous press commands really, and then my 165 double. This is the first time kind of using this weight where I use commands, and I do think it was a little heavier than intended, but nonetheless looks pretty good looking back at the video. And then the back off work. Into the volume work on squat. So some sets of 7. Nice and smooth really. Definitely tough by the last set, but pretty happy to kind of load 200 and it be really easy for reps over 5. So happy with progress in the squat in general. Looking forward to seeing what we can get on the comp day. And then my close grips. This is probably the day when my elbow was the most aggravated, so I dropped the weight a little bit, but still moving nicely. Into the final session, which I kind of discussed in the intro video. Just kind of doing flat repeats with 255, whereas I think you're intending me to adjust the load a little bit. So this was, 2 sets. It's my first set, my last set I think. But so happy being able to move this weight this easily. It's probably going to be something between my first attempt and second attempt, with kind of a planned finishing weight of like 290, 295 range. Joined by Larry Wheels for this session, which is always interesting when he's benching 60 kilos, 70 kilos more than I'm deadlifting, but that's fine. And then single at 157. I asked Dan to give me like really shitty, slow press command, and it ended up being like too slow that I almost jumped the press command. So I'll try to tidy that up next time. And regardless of how slow the command is, I'll just keep it on the chest. And that brings us to the end of this video.